We're taking a deep dive into Tanzanite to try to answer the question, is one of the world's rarest and most beautiful gemstones on the brink of extinction? After hours of a rigorous process to even get into the mining site, we're finally here at the former home of Tanzanite 1. Now, what we've seen in recent years since Tanzanite 1 has left the mines, not only have they built a giant wall, but they've dramatically increased security and government scrutiny of every person that is coming to this site. So basically we took an already intensely rare gemstone and made it even harder to get your hands on. But first, let's back this up. My name's Matt Wegson, and for my entire professional career, I've worked in the jewelry and gemstone business. Mine owners, gem cutters, wholesale dealers, basically from mine to market, I've done and seen pretty much everything. Our team traveled all the way to Tanzania to find out what's happening in the Tanzanite market. Now, Tanzanite is this stunning, violetish blue gemstone that comes exclusively from one place on planet Earth, at the base of Mount Kilimanjaro in the foothills in Tanzania. In 2018, Tanzania's then president fenced off an area of the mine to stop smuggling, and since then, the export of rough material was banned to encourage local processing and boost the economy. Tanzanite has been called the gemstone of our generation because it's a single-source gemstone, has been mined continuously since 1967, which means, unfortunately, it will eventually run out. We left our hotel in Arusha, Tanzania, and began our drive to the mine. It took us a long time to be able to get physically inside of the mine. After our 90-minute drive out away from the city of Arusha, we first were stopped at a municipal building where they did an additional passport screening inside the country. Then, after getting to the mine, we had to get through the military guarded gate, then go sit outside in the parking lot as our translator sat there going back and forth with the department and the officials of the Ministry of Minerals that had their location on site. Now, we have some great footage from outside the office. Obviously, we weren't able to film inside of the office, but to say that it was difficult to physically get into the mine, that would be a dramatic understatement. Here's what noted gemologist Robert Gessner had to say about the mining of this rare and beautiful gemstone.
Diamonds, rubies, sapphires, Padparacha sapphires, emeralds, alexandrite are all able to be made by man, but not Tanzanite. And that is due to its perfect geological formation. What the Earth did 1.5 billion years ago, the conditions and the geochemistry is so unique to Tanzanite. Man attempting to put all those elements and conditions together would cost way beyond what it would cost to actually mine the gemstone in its natural habitat in the mines.
Now, in 2014, one of our hosts, Dion, actually went and visited Tanzania and the Tanzanite mines as well. Now, when she went into the mines, the shafts were completely inhospitable, and frankly, they've only gotten more difficult to navigate since then. The road out of Mirarani was extremely treacherous. Roads were washed out. At one point in our ATV, we actually had to go and reverse several hundred feet, find alternative paths around just so we could get down that stretch of road towards the mines. Once we finally made it into the Tanzanite mining area, we realized things had dramatically shifted since our team was last there in 2014. After the Tanzanian government took control of the mining sites there in Mirarani, everything shifted on the ground. Now, instead of a couple big players, there are dozens of small mining operations trying to see what they can find, including the Maasai people, because Mirarani happens to sit on traditional tribal lands of the Maasai. So the Maasai have free right of passage, meaning they can go around whenever they'd like and collect any Tanzanite rough that they may be able to find. Mirarani is divided into 4 mining blocks, A, B, C, and D. Ultimately, we weren't allowed to enter any of the mining shafts due to safety concerns. The shaft at Block D, it's around 500 to 600 meters deep, but it continues to run horizontally after it stops at the bottom. We met with the engineers from the Ministry of Minerals, and they explained in depth the extent of the mining operation. The winch you see here allows for the lifting and lowering of materials, equipment, and the miners themselves. The controls allow the operator to manage the movement of the load within the mine shaft. We timed it, and it took about 8 minutes for the cable to wrap back around the drum and for the mining cart to emerge. So that gives you a sense of how deep underground these miners are actually working. From the D block, we move to the C block, which is the former home of Tanzanite 1 mining company. This is where housing for the miners was located. We couldn't tell what it's being used for today, but we took a look at the C block's mine shaft and met some of the miners as they finished their day's work. But the one thing we didn't see at the Tanzanite mine? Tanzanite. Yep, you heard that right. At the Tanzanite mine, we saw no rough Tanzanite. Now, Tanzanite is still coming out of the ground. Now, we're still buying Tanzanite directly from Mirarani in Tanzania, but we were a little bit confused as to why we weren't allowed to see any of the Tanzanite rough coming out of the mine while we were there. And to be fair, the day that we were there, we spent so many hours getting into the mine that we focused most of our attention to the actual mine sites and didn't get to go to the rough market in Mirarani. But with that being said, every other mine that we've ever been to, the mine owners always have big, beautiful pieces of rough ready to show the camera. So it does make you kind of question what's really going on with Tanzanite. According to our sources, suppliers have been withholding Tanzanite rough, and far fewer cut and polished stones are actually making it back to the US market. We'll continue to cover this story as it continues to develop and make sure you understand what it means for you as a consumer and customer of this beautiful gemstone. The most exclusive high-end jewelry brands in the world have incorporated Tanzanite into some of their most iconic designs. Shop LC has been delivering consistent quality and exceptional Tanzanite for decades. Now, we were able to see and experience some of Tanzania's amazing wildlife and natural beauty, and we'll leave you with that here at the end. But before you go, make sure you stay tuned, subscribe, like, comment, share with everybody. I'm Matt Wegson for Shop LC, taking you mine to market for Tanzanite.